Whether it's by sea or by space, all ships need their captains. So with this new vessel arriving in episode 25, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, the question arrives, who is the captain of this new enemy ship? Let's take a look. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and before we take a look at who the captain could be, we first need to look at the ship itself, as this will in turn help us to see the bigger picture. So looking at the outside of this ship, we see a weird green glow, and the texture that accompanies it looks very sludge-like or liquidy, really showing off that dark green colour, while also giving off these weird sort of dripping / stalactites or stalagmites kind of features to the design of the ship in general. And looking at the colour and the textures, it all just reminds me of one thing: garbage, or rubbish, or even just waste in general. Yes, I know in my episode review for 25 I did say this outer layer could be Earthdamer, or a protective coating to protect the ship from the harshness of space travel and travelling through wormholes. That's still a possibility, but just looking at the shape and the form of this ship, it looks very bizarre, so it's making me question whether or not it's something different. So what if these aliens came from a planet that's mostly inhabited by waste / rubbish, and as such, the designs, or just in general, the buildings, the cars, the planes, the spaceships, the boats, everything on that planet has been affected and morphed, giving us what we see here. Why is this important? Well, we do have a company in Mutsuba Town that also reps the colour green as its company throughout it. This though is more of a friendlier green. That's right, I'm talking about the Mutsuba company that Osaka is running. Her Mutsuba company deals with recycling, which is the complete opposite of landfill / waste. We don't know an awful lot about Osaka yet, except for the fact that she doesn't really like aliens all that much. We don't even know the reason as to why she dislikes them. She even refers to Earthdamer as just being a disgusting liquid, so anything alien related is kind of off the books for Osaka. Could she have had a very bad experience with aliens in the past, and thus the disliking was created? Could she have had an alien friend, but that friendship turned bad for whatever reason? In any case, I think this ship and Osaka do have a connection, or more precisely, the person piloting the ship has a connection with Osaka. In Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, we learned how after a misunderstanding, both Asana and Osaka grew apart after starting a wonderful friendship together. But over time, they mended that rift. And now in Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, we've seen a Mutsuba, we've seen a Sogetsu, we've seen a Nanahoshi, we've seen a Kirishima, and now, could it be time that we see a Kamijo? More specifically, a Haruka alternative. One that is actually an alien with kind of a normalish looking form, similar to what Zuijo and Yugioh have. Okay, so let's just go with the idea for a moment and say that the captain is a Kamijo. And they are the junk aliens. Now why would they choose now of all times to visit Earth and get Earthdamer? Idea number 1. Not everything can be recycled. And what happens to the stuff in Mutsuba Town that can't be recycled down for boots and gloves? Well, maybe through their use of connections. Could the dark secret of the Mutsuba company be that they send off the stuff they can't recycle to other planets? And thus this planet of race junk aliens was created. And now they've had enough, and they've seen the power of Earthdamer and the destructive nature it possesses. But they wish to gain Earthdamer for themselves in order to exact their own goals of revenge. Revenge in drowning Mutsuba Town in junk, just like the company has been doing to their home planet for so long. Alternatively, this plotline / idea could still happen, but instead of it always being a Mutsuba idea to send rubbish to different planets, the former or a long-standing Mutsuba head could have promised not to do that, but due to uncontrollable circumstances, the previous Mutsuba head before Osaka had to break that promise, and those planets are now left feeling lied to. They're feeling hurt and broken. So after which, they decide to heed the words that Yugioh said in episode 13 or episode 12 and get the power they need to make Mutsuba suffer for breaking their long-standing promise. Of course, it wouldn't be Osaka's, fault necessarily, because it's the person who was in control of Mutsuba before her, but the responsibility still lies with her because she carries the family name. Idea number 2. Staying with the Haruka alternative being the captain and once having a connection with Osaka, could this move and act be an act of emotion? They think now is finally the time. They have a chance to knock that smug and arrogant Mutsuba down a peg or two. Osaka does seem very prideful and proud of her family name from how she's been presented in the series so far. So maybe that, along with her dislike and attitude towards aliens, caused a once friend or former fan/admirer in the alternative Haruka to basically turn antagonistic. After seeing that the person she admired, the person she looked up to and respected the most, would never truly accept her because she's an alien, and no matter how hard she tries to hide it, that reality is never going to come to fruition. Obviously, you're probably thinking, well, how would they have been friends to begin with? Easy. I've said that the alternative Haruka, although being an alien, would have a human form that would be able to disguise herself easily around other humans. So it might just be easy for her to blend in and kind of join in on the activities that a young, childish Osaka would be a part of, i.e. school. And of course, we kind of link a little back to the Asana and Tiger storyline, in the fact is there is a misunderstanding. Because, although an alternative Haruka would see a younger Osaka be very disliking towards aliens, she doesn't know the reason. And she doesn't know if it's all aliens or just a select few. There might even be one or two that she's actually quite friendly with, and they just didn't explore that opportunity. So in short, the ship's captain is a Go Rush version of Haruka, acting as the next antagonist for the show, who had a connection with Osaka. However, she only became antagonistic after a former friendship broke, or she lost the will to respect Osaka, or after a long promise was broken. There are many different possibilities of how this could happen, but I'd love to see it if we actually see an alternative Haruka as the captain of this ship and the next antagonist moving forward. Admittedly, this might be one of my weirder ideas that I presented on this channel, but hey, if one thing I've learned from Yugioh is that anything is possible. From a kid painting an entire school building blue, to an AI being created with a fax machine, and many more crazy hilarious things that have happened, I don't think this is too far out the realms of impossibility. What do you think though? Do you think I'm too far deep into the weirdness, or do you think I could be onto something? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your opinions. Have a great day. Alligator, matane. Goodbye.